especially when it gets to do with peace or the clerics or even the church. So we'll be talking with him this morning on perspectives to look at what peace education and peace building entails and how to achieve all of that in Kaduna. We'll take a quick interlude. When we return, we'll bring you the background and commence our conversation this morning. Do stay with us.
Issues matter. The voices must be heard.
From development to politics to the economy, all in one space.
It's more than talk, it's a view into the heart of the world.
This is Perspectives.
Perspectives with DIDAM LAAH.
Perspectives with DIDAM LAAH.
Join DIDAM LAAH every Thursday morning from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m.
Let's engage key voices and dive into issues that shape our world.
Your voice matters too.
Join the conversation. Call in, speak up, be heard.
Live on Invicta 98.9 FM. Perspectives with DIDAM LAAH. Insights you can trust.
Glad to know you're still there, and for those who just joined us, you're most welcome. This is Perspectives this morning on Invicta 98.9 FM, Kaduna, Nigeria, and today we're discussing an issue that could determine not only the quality of Nigeria's 2027 elections, but also what happens to our communities before, during, and after those elections. And like I said, we're talking peace education and peace building ahead of 2027 election. Now, yesterday, Wednesday, August 19, 2026, marks the official commencement of campaigns for Nigeria's presidential election. Yesterday, the campaign began for presidential election. Now, from today, political parties and candidates will increasingly take their messages to the electorate, right? Political rallies will begin to intensify. Campaign messages will fuel traditional and even social media. Political debates will become more prominent. Supporters will mobilize, right? And Nigerians will increasingly be confronted with political choices. But you see, there is another question we must ask at this point. How do we ensure that political competition does not become social conflict? Because elections are supposed to be peaceful contests for political power. They should not become a contest that divides neighbors, families, communities, or citizens along ethnic, religious, regional, or partisan lines. And this is where peace education and peace building becomes critical. Now, peace building cannot begin after violence has already occurred. It must begin before the crisis. It must begin in our schools, our homes, our religious institutions, our communities, in political parties, in the media. That's why we're doing it this morning, and increasingly online. Joining me this morning is a man who has been deeply involved in conversations around peace, conflict prevention, and interfaith relations. And that is none other but Reverend Dr. Joseph John HAYAB. Reverend Dr. Joseph John HAYAB is the country director of Global Peace Foundation Nigeria. Dr. HAYAB, or let me say Reverend HAYAB, you're most welcome. Glad to have you join us this morning.
Thank you for having me, and good morning to all our viewers and listeners.
Now, quickly, Reverend HAYAB, yesterday was significant because the presidential campaign period has officially commenced. For starters, what should Nigerians be thinking about now that political campaign season has officially begun? Is it simply about choosing candidates, or should we be thinking about how we conduct ourselves while choosing those candidates?
Okay, thank you very much. I think to make the first word simple is we are going to be doing both and others. Let's begin by first appreciating INEC for giving us a guide on how to go about it, and it marks the beginning of campaign for the 2027 general election. Interestingly, a few days ago, the Nigerian Peace Committee, headed by General Abdul Salami Abubakar and coordinated by our brother, our priest, Matthew Hassan Kuka, brought together all the presidential or the political parties and their candidates to sign what they call a peace accord to commence this campaign. In other words, it's like just a simple conduct, how we are going to behave, words that will come out of our mouths, and ensuring that we sell our party, we sell our candidates, but we do not destroy Nigeria. We are happy that a good number of the candidates went, though the President of Nigeria was not there in person, but he was represented by the Secretary to Government and then the party chairman. We would have wished he's there in person because we want to see good example. We want people to see that something is actually happening positively about proper conduct during election. If you will agree with me, you know we're just coming out of the Osun State election that just came up last weekend, and then a few days later, campaign commenced. So all these and many others are the reason why we want the best for Nigeria. We believe that every candidate and his political party have a right to campaign, to convince voters to vote for them, to woo voters to support them, so that they will all go to victory. And what everybody must know is that every political party and every candidate is a potential winner. If we want to run an election that is democratic and is actually credible, then we must see all the candidates as potential winners. So what we need from them is for us to help you win. What are you going to do for us? For us to help you win, how are you going to lead Nigeria? For us to help you win, what are the kind of conduct we expect from you? And so these are the things we'll be seeing going forward. It is going to be an interesting time. We are going to be monitoring. We are going to be following. But we at the Global Peace Foundation, let's confess that we appreciate the understanding and the willingness of Invicta Radio to call us to share our understanding of the importance of peace during the campaign era, the importance of peace in all the activities that will be conducted. We believe in the peace of the community. If you eventually win election and the community where or the people you are coming to govern are not at peace, then you've not won. So it is important for you to promote peace in your campaign. Say no to those who will use campaign platforms to make terrible statements that would trigger problems. Say no to those who will use your campaign platform to carry daggers and injure innocent people who have no business with what you are doing. Say no to those who will use your campaign platform to cause harm to the nation and cause harm to the society. Campaign is simply campaign of...
Okay, at this point, Reverend...
Campaign of policies and nothing more and nothing less.
Reverend...
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Okay, so now, what would you say, for instance, are the biggest peace risks associated with election campaigns? What could be the biggest risk factors associated with campaigns, election campaigns?
The reality in the first place is that campaigns are supposed not to have risk.
And also,
why we are looking at risk is because we have a lot of ignorant people who think that politics is a do or die business. We have a lot of greedy people who believe that politics is killing another before you go to power. We have a lot of selfish people who believe that politics is about destroying the society so that you will get power. We have a lot of people who do not even understand politics as seeking for opportunity to govern, seeking for opportunity to deliver services, seeking for opportunity to be a blessing to their nation. They come into this exercise without patriotism. So they now bring the angle of risk that, okay, in political cycles like this, there is fear of tension or there's fear of people being attacked, there's fear of certain things being done. In a civilized community where campaign is campaign, we find how people come out, do their campaigns, make promises, stand for what they promise, and then people hold them accountable when they win. They promise us roads, they promise us water, they promise us light, and we are not seeing it. But today, we don't see people coming to promise. We see people coercing others to support them. We see people destroying or putting fear on others to destroy before they call that campaign. That is not campaign. Campaign is supposed to be about issues. What are you coming to explain to Nigerians that you will do? Policies. What are those new policies you want to bring? That is a deviation from what we are already having. Campaign is about improvement. What are those improvements you are coming to bring that people should be attracted to and say, if we give this man, something good is about to happen. But you see, that's why the risk factor comes in. But originally, campaigns supposed to be really a time of excitement. Whether you call it an academic exercise, whether you call it an exercise of rhetoric or explanation, we have citizens become more important now than anything. Because at campaign, contestants now view citizens as more important than them. So now they are trying to woo citizens, they are trying to convince citizens, they are promising citizens this and that. They are explaining to citizens how they will correct this, how they will correct that. When you look at the situation of Nigeria now, I think we have some of the key issues are, what do we do with the insecurity in Nigeria? The other thing is how do we do to address the economic situation? The other issue is how do we do to address the issue of hunger? The other issue is how do we do to address the issue of unemployment? The other issue is how do we do to improve education? And then healthcare and all these things. What about insurance? Our pensioners, are they really receiving their pension after retirement? So people should come and tell us what they will do to change it so that Nigerians will no longer be afraid to retire. Nigerians should know that if they retire, what rightfully belongs to them will be given to them. So those coming to seek for our mandate should be able to tell us some things about this. But don't tell me Mr. Chief, Boju or Ham or Ikulu or Fulani or Hausa. That's stupidity. What we want is what are you going to do different? Mr. G should also come and start telling me you are Ham or you are Boju or you are Ikulu or you are Ninzo or you are Angan or you are Mada or you are Birom. No. Tell me what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Service? Because those who come out to campaign seems not to have what to tell us. That's why they play religious cards, they play regional cards, they play tribal cards, they play all those kind of fake things that do not matter. But a good driver is a good driver. His tribe, his religion do not matter. A good pilot is a good pilot. His religion or his identity do not matter.
Okay, Doc.
A good mechanic is a good mechanic. All those other things are secondary. But you see, those coming to campaign to us assume because they realize they don't have what to offer. So they deviate and start saying things that are not.
Okay, Reverend.
Nigeria is crumbling. We need a good pilot who will fly us to the next.
All right, Reverend. City. You see, Reverend, you know very well, because this is your forte, that we often talk about peace after conflict. The electorate scarcely hear the conversation around peace if nothing wrong is happening, if there is no conflict. But you know, peace education as well is supposed to be preparatory before conflict happens. Now, what exactly do we mean by peace education in the context of election?
cycles. NGOs like ours, we used to go to communities to preach peace before, during, and after election. We don't just do it during elections. So for us, we've been working, even 2 days ago, I was in Kakuri, Nasarawa. We are working with the community to broker understanding, because some months ago there was a native drama or friction that came up, and we feel we've gone past that. We're not to have an issue that any group will carry dagger against another at this time. So we were not doing it because of politics. But we also do realize that politics is around the corner. So we are reminding them nobody should allow himself to be used. Nobody should allow himself to be divided because of politics, because politics will come and go. Nigeria will remain. So there are a lot of NGOs out there that are doing this job. Brought as Global Peace, we've lined up a lot of activities. We're even going to have a national summit of 500 young Nigerians. They are coming from all the 36 states in Abuja in October. We have a very prominent, I don't want to mention the name, a musician coming from America who worked during the George Bush administration that is coming to work with us to sensitize Nigerian youth on the need for them to say no to violence before, during, and after election. The conversation today is starting because we have just officially been told that campaign starts, and we are using this opportunity to remind politicians that look, just come and tell people what you can do for them. Don't divide people against their brothers. Don't divide people against their neighbors. Don't divide people against their classmates, because it is not like that. And we are also reminding our general public that look, anybody who comes to you and has nothing to offer and start telling you this man is your enemy, the other person is your enemy, know that he cannot deliver the goods. Know that if you vote for him, you will only go and steal money. The man who has something to offer will not talk against somebody, will not abuse people, will not defend you against your neighbor, against your classmate, against your friend. He will tell you, look, trust me with your vote, and this is what I will do for you. Not trust me with your vote and don't talk to your neighbor. Not trust me with your vote and see your friend as an enemy. No, that is not campaign. And we will do this job on your media, in other media, and in many platforms until election is done, and even after the election. We did that in 2019, we did that in 2023, and we are going to do that in 2027. And the Lord that is in 2031, again, we will continue to do that until such a time that we will have sensitized, mobilized, educate, and make more Nigerians understand that election time don't allow anybody to use you against anybody. It's not being your enemy. Look, at election, you have only one vote. I have one vote, he has one vote, you have one vote. Cast your vote and choose the candidate of your choice. No coercion, no destruction, no evil intent against anybody. That should be the something. And it's not only Global Peace Foundation. There are so many organizations all over Nigeria that are doing this big time, and we are so glad that we are part of it.
But Doc, there is another battlefield, and it doesn't require physical rally. This battlefield is the digital space, right? That's social media and the internet, where, for instance, a false story can reach thousands and even millions of people within few minutes. And also an inflammatory video can be circulated repeatedly. And for instance, an old photograph can be presented as a recent one. And fabricated statement also can be attributed to a political candidate. And by the time the truth emerges, for instance, the damage may already have been done. How significant is misinformation and disinformation as a threat to peace building? I'm afraid, Reverend, will hold you here. Just hold your thought. We pay some bills. When we return, the conversation continues. Stay with us. Good morning.
Thank you.
Invicta FM.
Some business people sabi spend money. But smart business people sabi grow money. Why your cash could just sit down, they press phone for account? With Bill Station Fixed Deposit, put eligible funds to work and make plan for bigger business moves. The interest rate now 23%. 23%. Make you download the Bill Station app for Google Play Store or Apple Store. Bill Station, no let your money lazy.
Wayar gari da shayin Lipton yana da wata hanya da yake tattara mu kofi ɗaya ya kake a lokaci guda.
Mutumina baka san me ya faru jiya ba.
Kai ma barka da safiya.
Yi hakuri mana shayi kafin hira.
To shi kenan faɗi mana.
Ai in dai shayin Lipton ne ba cika kofi kaɗai yake yi ba, yana ƙara kusanci da zumunci tsakanin jama'a. Shayin Lipton yana haɗa zumunta.
Them say monkey smart, now because the tree near. But now monkey will jump past the eye, they quick see. This Big Brother Naija season 11 go hot past pressing iron. Now only the biggest moves go make I see you. Everybody come show themselves.
Yes, sir. Now 247 drama for Big Brother Naija season 11. Sharply recharge your decoder. Make you not for miss anything, no. All the gas goes they show for GoTV channel 49. You still follow happenings with GoTV stream if you day road. Headline sponsor, Bet Power. GoTV. Love it.
Lokacin jin daɗi sai Kivo Krima.
Idan na sha ko lokacin shandari sai Kivo.
To yaushe muke sa rana na uku? Ce abu game da na uku. Amma ni da Alhaji mun amince cewa jikina na bukatar lokaci. Shi yasa ina da 7790. 7790? 7790 daga Honey and Banana Connect. Ita ce amintaciyar hanyar samu bayananniyar shawara ba tare da tsangwama ba akan duk abin da ya shafi tazaran haihuwa. Ku tattauna da kwararrun ma'aikata don samun jagoranci game da bayar da tazaran haihuwa. Tafiyar ki ce, jikinki ne duk lokacin da kika zaba. Kira 7790 a yau ko ku aiko mana da sakon WhatsApp a 09097133400. Honey and Banana Connect. Ku bi wanda ya san hanya.
Mai fa.
Yawwa, dan ba ni rabin kwalba a nan.
Yar uwa, har yanzu kina siyan wannan man dura? Abinda baki san me ke cikin sa ba? Ko kin san inda aka hada shi ne? Ni dai man fa oil nake siya. A takaice sun yi wani sabon sacheti wanda ya kai ninki biyun wancan na baya. Kuma wannan sachetin naira 300 ne kacal a karamin farashi.
Sabon sachetin Power Oil 90 ml. Mai ne mai inganci da zaka iya siyan shi a naira 300 kacal.
Is it okay to make fun of our tooth gap? Let's have a talk. Colgate makes your teeth so strong. Stop cover your mouth. Not to do younger with your smile. Brush your teeth with Colgate. Zero cavities and fresh breath. If you use a Colgate paste. Not to do younger with your smile. Brush your teeth with Colgate.
Colgate, #1 oral care brand in the world.
Ku yi tunanin gida inda uwa ke da lokacin karanta wa ɗanta littafi yayin da wani yaron kuma yake wasan gina gida a gefenta. Babu hantara, babu gaggawa, sai zunzurutun soyayya da ta ninku sakamakon samun lokaci. Wannan shine damar da tazarar haihuwa ke bayarwa, wato dama ta gani da sauraro. Kuma a irin wannan yanayi ne yara suke bunƙasa.
Ziyarci cibiyar lafiya mafi kusa domin farawa ko a kira lambar waya 222 wannan sako ne daga ma'aikatar lafiya tare da tallafin gamayyar kungiyoyin aida pronet da fem.
Iyali uba 'ya'ya da ma'uwa.
Tabdi. Wato a duk lokacin da muka haɗu a dandalin tattaunawar iyalinmu sai an samu matsala. Abun burgewa ma zan dafa wani abu da duk zasu amincewa. Wato da fadukan shinkafa na musamman tare da magi.
An sarrafa magista daga tataccen waken soya, albasa, kayan yajin armashi tare da kanamfari.
Lokacin cin abinci a shiga cikin lallama ko samkar a shigo.
Magista sanya duk abinci da lokacin su kasance na musamman da ba za a iya mantawa ba.
Mama, sai kin gan yadda na wanke ban ɗakin nan yawon ku sosai fa.
Tabbas zai iya wankuwa sosai a ido, amma idan ba da hypo toilet cleaner kika yi amfani ba wajen kariya, to ban ɗaki cike yake da ƙwayoyin cuta baja-baja.
Haka ne, gara ku yarje wa ƙwayoyin cuta, ku kare ban ɗakin ku kullum da hypo toilet cleaner.
Auntie, you are enjoying, oh? Only you. Peppered rice, amala, nkwobi, masa, cake, and now ice cream. I hope you have Justifies on you.
Justifies? I never leave home without it.
That's right, Justifies, the new natural effervescent powder for an instant refreshing relief from heartburn and stomach indigestion. Just add Justifies into a cup of water, stir, drink, and you're good to go. Justifies, your relief on the go. Justifies is from the House of Justide. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Marketed by Ranbaxy Nigeria Limited, a Sun Pharma company.
You're now listening to Invicta FM. Keeping you company all day.
Glad to know you still listening to us. If you just joined, you're most welcome. We've been talking peace education and peace building, and our resource person has been Reverend Dr. Joseph John HAYAB, the country director of Global Peace Foundation Nigeria. And we were asking him before this break, precisely before this break, we're asking how is it that we have a new battlefield for campaigns, the social media, the digital space, where a false story can reach millions of people, inflammatory video can spread and circulate repeatedly, old photograph can be presented as a recent one, fabricated campaigns can be attributed to a political party. And before you get to know, before you say jack, so to say, the damage has been done, right? Now, how significant, that's the question now, is misinformation and disinformation as a threat to peaceful elections? Doctor.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the challenge of social media and misinformation is always here with us. So it's not just happening because of politics. So what we've been trying to do, or what we are trying to preach this time around is empowering young people to counter those negative narratives. In this social media platform, we have good information, we have bad information. But it seems the bad information seems to fly more than the good information. People are tempted to want to push and send out bad information. I'll give you an example. There's a story, there's a program, there's a video. As the leader of Christians in northern Nigeria, I have received so many people sending it to me. They don't even know that it's an AI. That video is the video of a man who claimed to be an imam, and he is challenging Christian leaders for not talking against Muslim ticket. That man does not exist anywhere. When they saw that video fly, they have now come back and they are putting him to say a story that is the new Sharia something in Sokoto where men and women are separated. If you ask yourself, you see, he's wearing the same dress, he's looking the same. That's AI thing. There was even one that personally I was misled into believing it. The one that somebody claimed that if he becomes the governor in Sokoto, in Katsina State, he's going to sack every Christian and even ask northern governors. Check it, you will see it's an AI thing. But you know, we all want to push it. That's why our advice to people is that any information you see, don't push it. You are not helping us to push it. Let it die in your hand. If you want to cross-check, you should have one leader you trust. And then say, sir, I have seen this. How valid or how true is this? And that's how we can correct it. So we are also arming some people to know how to dispute some stories. But you see, our job is not to protect any politician or protect political interests. Our job is only to correct any information that would trigger violence, any information that would trigger hate, any information that would trigger, we will correct it. But we are not going to get ourselves involved in the politics of who fights who and who do not fight who. We are not going to get to that. And I can tell you there are wonderful young men who have understood this and they are working with us, and we are going to be countering these things. And that's where INEC and government comes to play. What effort are they going to give in supporting such initiatives to counter those negative narratives? But we will allow politicians to preach there something. If they preach it well, that is good. If they don't preach it well, that is good. If you check today in many of the national dailies, you will see a story that is claiming that the governor-elect, which is the current governor of Osun, was attacked by gunmen yesterday. That story from our finding is also not true. There was only a drama at the palace by talks, which has nothing to do with the governor. But look at how it is even spread by established newspapers as it actually happened. So that story has a way of flying, but we have to also have a way of correcting those bad stories and then promoting good stories that unite. So we are going to be working with youth, we are going to be working with women, we are going to be working with faith leaders, we are going to be working with community leaders, we are going to be working with also the political class themselves to see how we can dismiss or correct those negative stories that divide people. And I'm using this medium to speak to most especially our people. I am on Father Extraction and I'm a Christian. And I know that you have a large followers and listeners among my people. I'm also from Kaduna State. You have a large followers of people in Kaduna State who are not Christians and others. We are speaking to ourselves that let's not allow just one small story to divide us anymore. Any story we hear, let's improve it. I just confessed to myself that one story almost mislead me into believing it's true. Until we do a thorough science, then we realize it was purely an AI. That's why you can't find the man anywhere. He has no marks. He does not exist. But you see, we must say this for people to know that people whose intention is to see that Nigeria do not survive. So they will use everything I say, every means to divide us, to create lack of trust among us, to create confusion among us. We must be wise enough. We are talking, the fact that this exercise we intend to do, we are working with Muslim leaders so that any information we receive, we will pass to them. They will vet it. If they also receive, they will pass to us, we will vet it. And then we'll use our young people in the IC.
Now, Reverend, talking about
the correct information so that people will not be misled.
Talking about this kind of collaboration you mentioned, you know that you as a religious leader, you occupy a particular important position in this conversation, and religious leaders generally have enormous influence over communities. At this point of Nigeria's history, especially now that political campaigns, especially presidential, began yesterday, what should churches mosque and other religious institutions be doing during election period to promote peace?
Well, number one, they need to sensitize their communities, sensitize their followers, set up early warning signs, early warning centers where people can report information or stories they hear that can trigger confusion. They need to also ensure that in all their activities, whether during naming, during wedding, whatever, to take advantage of, even during burial, to correct some wrong narratives and things that will create fear. But most importantly, we have to deliberately form synergy between people of faith, Christians, Muslims, young Christians, young Muslims, women Christians, women Muslims, communities and security agencies. That synergy must be there, that we are working together. We should remove prejudice. We should remove the stereotype that we have against one another. We should remove all those things that keeps keeping us away and makes it difficult for us to cross-check and verify some of the stories we used to get. We must work deliberately. We wish government support this initiative, but in a situation where government fails, Nigeria is my country, and what I do for Nigeria is not for government, it's for me. I want to be at peace. I want my children to have peace. I want my relatives to have peace. I want my government to have peace. I want my neighbor to be in peace. I want my church to be in peace. So even those things I'm narrating are enough reason for me to do. So if every Nigerian see it as his role, his responsibility to ensure that nothing wrong, because this leadership will come and they will go, but Nigeria will remain. Yes, when the government is here, you know that people like us will not spare them 1 second to tell them we are here. But today's conversation, we are not talking about someone have committed wrong or not. We are just simply looking at how do we educate, sensitize, mobilize to ensure that this election cycle comes is free, fair, and peaceful. So we're talking to INEC for free and credible election. We're talking to ourselves for peaceful conduct. Talking to political class for peaceful and mature conduct. When everybody sees that there's no one you will use anymore, then there's nothing you will do. If they be using and manipulating the children of the poor, if the church, the mosques, the communities, the parents sensitize their children and say, don't fight anybody for any politician. If they don't have anybody to recruit to fight for them, it gets over.
Oh, so Reverend, you mentioned how you're talking to political players, but you see, political parties have perhaps the greatest responsibility because they organize the competition, right? INEC is just the umpire. The competition is between the parties and its members. Then, most importantly, the candidate. Now, you also mentioned at the beginning of this conversation how a peace accord has been signed, headed by Abdulsalami Abubakar, the former head of state, and Bishop Kuka of Sokoto Diocese, Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, and some other persons. What should happen to states? What practical commitments should every political party make before the 2027 elections across the subnationals in Nigeria? Reverend, are you there?
I say, you see, Nigeria is one country. I just divided into state and local government for effective administration. So the peace accord that was signed in Abuja is a semblance of peace accord that will be signed in each state, and similarly at local government. So we have a general responsibility to ensure that we do what is right. If we do that, it will help us a great deal. So we are looking forward to how local Nigerians will respond to this peace accord. And that's why I earlier talked about the fear of people living with yesterday's prejudice, thinking, they've always signed peace accord, and there's nothing by it. Please, if they make mistakes yesterday, do not mean we should allow them to forgive them. So these are the things we will be doing. So if we do that, it will go a long way in helping us and doing what we're supposed to.
Okay, Doc, you are from Kaduna. Invicta is transmitting to the whole world from Kaduna. And Kaduna, as we know as a state, has experienced periods in the past of serious communal tensions. And those experiences, for instance, should remind us that peace cannot be taken for granted, right? So, what lessons should Kaduna take from its history as we enter another political sensitive period at this point? What should government, religious leaders, traditional institutions, political actors, civil society, and citizens be doing right now rather than waiting until tensions escalate? This is Kaduna. We know ourselves and we know what we can do, and we know the volatile areas. So what should be the early warning signals? What should we be doing at this point as Kaduna?
With every fairness to Kaduna, apart from 2011, that some people manipulated some of our youth in Tudunwada and in other parts of Kaduna, and it went to violence. Kaduna really have not had violence during elections. Kaduna used to have our issues even at the cost of the year due to certain errors and activities that may have triggered that tension. So to associate Kaduna with violence during election may not be completely correct. Some of the issues in the past that created the violence, we know them. We know how one of our former governors manipulated an election period and raised alarm of something that he knows between him and God was incorrect. So when we start using that to criticize our state, we are not being fair. Fortunately for us, in the last few years, or 3 years, we've had a shift from that attitude of governance. We have a government that seems to be respectful. We have a government that is trying to do what McCarthy will call near parity. The government may not be perfect, but truly they are trying. And so there is peace in the state. I don't see anything that would trigger violence unless their supporters do not know how to campaign or to go about seeking for power. So we should give Kaduna people that credit and just remind those who probably do not know that nobody should instigate against anybody in Kaduna. Just go and cast your vote. If you like the current governor, go and support him. If you want a new one, go and support him. Those who eventually will still be part of Kaduna State, will remain in Kaduna, and Kaduna is ours. But truly, you must give credit to this governor here, fighting, uniting the people. So when people are looking for reasons for violence during election, they may not have much now. So a lot has been done. So credit to Uba for that. But election is election. So there are others who are coming to tell us what they can do different, how they can do different. So let's open the floor, listen to them, see what they are listening and hear what they are saying. And then everybody will judge whether what we have now is good enough or we want something better, or what we have now is not what we want, or we don't like it, or what we have now is good for us to keep it there. So it all depends on how people do. Election is just one vote, one man. So there's no reason for tension. There's no reason for fear. Our crisis, our violence have really not been, because for those who do not know history, I can tell them that in 1979, it was on the night of election, that our parents just decided that we should vote for Valerie Musa, and we voted him and he became governor. Similarly, in 1983, it was within few days to election that our people felt that no, we better go with LAAH and we voted him and he won. In 1992, it was the same thing. Our people just decided, crisis, nobody kill anybody. And we voted for Dabolere, and Dabolere became governor. Similarly, when McCarthy came in 1999, and then 2000, look, in McCarthy's case, in 2002, when we were approaching 2003, those who never wanted him to come back for second time, threatened violence so that it will not happen. But on the night of election, there was no violence. He won and went back. In 2007, similarly, there was no violence. December 1 and continued. In 2011, the violence was not because of governorship. Because the violence started before the governorship election. Yes, there were issues around religious sentiment, but it didn't lead to violence. The violence started because they were announcing presidential election, and those who wanted the almighty Buhari at that time to be president felt he was losing, and they felt some people didn't vote him, that's why he wasn't going to win, and they started the violence. So it wasn't even about Yakoa. So we should put every story in its perspective. When the time of Yakoa came, he won the election. The violence that had happened was because of presidential election, not gubernatorial election. In 2015, we all went out. People who wanted Rufai to be governor voted him, and nobody fought. And then in 2019, similarly, those who wanted him voted him, nobody fought. Let's remind the Kaduna State people that in 2023, when elections were being announced, and there was just one local government they are waiting for, the moment the local government result was announced, Kaduna went into a wild jubilation, only to later realize that it was the local government the other candidate won, not the state. Nobody went to do any violence. The person who won, and today he's governing us. So Kaduna people must be given credit for not electoral violence. Violence for something else. Violence on issues that is not even our own. The Miss World Beauty pageant fight, the lady who wrote the article did not live in Kaduna, and this day newspaper's office is not in Kaduna. They only have reporters and an office for reporters to stay. The Sharia crisis, those who introduced Sharia were not in Kaduna. And so you look at it. So we are going above that, and we must educate our people and remind our people that look, this whole thing, we have gone above that, and we can go continuously above that.
Okay, Reverend, let's look at peace building beyond election day. Right. How do we build a culture where political opponents, for instance, can compete fiercely during elections and still cooperate afterwards? Is there hope for a unity government? Because democracy requires something very important. The ability to lose an election, for instance, without believing that you have lost your citizenship. And equally, the ability to win an election without treating your opponent as enemies of the state.
I understand what you're asking, but I ask myself this question. Are those creating violence during election really creating it because of lack of unity government? They are just evil people who do not want the progress of the country. If you look at, because I've been around, I can explain. When in all those previous governments that I explained, you will find out that the system they created was not winners take it all. No, it has never been like that in Kaduna. The fact that they even woo people from other parties to come to them and be. I remember when nobody became governor, those we appointed as commissioners, some of them contested governors in different other parties. I can still remember them because I know them by name and I know them by work. And I remember those we also appointed, appointed when. But you see, when evil people want to be evil, they don't look at the good side, the magnanimity, the unity that is being promoted by the winner. They just want to spoil it. Then like the husband will say, I'm not the one that gets it. Let us all spoil it. That's the wrong spirit. In politics, the man who wins shouldn't see himself as the alpha and omega. The man who loses shouldn't also see it as it has become the end of his world. There is always a time for it. And I've seen people who contested elections several times, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, until probably the 6th, 7th time before they won. So the patience to allow things to work the way they're supposed to be is what is lacking in some of our politicians, both at local government, state, and national level. But if you understand these things, you'll be able to live happily and move on. Let me use my brother, Sonny Katu. He was the deputy governor candidate in 2019. And they didn't win. Sonny didn't lose sleep, never caused anybody pain. Sonny went and relaxed. 3 years later or 4 years later, Sonny became senator, and today we know the impact he's making. Any politician who, the moment he loses, he wants the whole house to crumble, is not a politician. He doesn't even understand politics. And if you are supporting such a person, you are supporting the wrong person. That's why recently when a religious leader came out and was claiming as if one religion were the one who voted this government. They quickly came out and refuted it. Because I want Nigerians to know that this president that is serving today was voted by Christians and Muslims. Christians only show concern of a balanced ticket, but they still voted for him. And I can name states that are exclusively or 90% Christian states. They have still won their state. And then that constitutes to making him president. So for you to not think that there's only one side, no, that's not right. That is not what it's supposed to be.
All right, so Reverend, now presidential campaign began yesterday. If you have the opportunity to address all the presidential candidates and let's say every political party as well, and every campaign organization, every journalist that will cover the election, every social media influencer, and every Nigerian voter, what would you say to them about the responsibility they carry for maintaining peace during the 2027 electoral process?
See, for every candidate, remember you are seeking for office to govern the people. Don't destroy the people you want to govern. You are seeking for office to build the society. Don't destroy the society you are seeking to govern, because if you destroy it, then what do you govern? So you must, this is even the sincere test of a genuine leader. A man who destroyed the country because he's seeking for office is not seeking for office, he's an evil man. But a man who will stand with the country to ensure that the country grows well is the one who is truly a leader. So we just pray that our political office holders will appreciate the need to show example that in the first place, the champions of peace, the champions of unity during this campaign. If they do that, they have not only helped themselves, but they are helping the nation. And when you sow the seed of division because you want to get office, if you get the office, you will reap division. If you seek the fruit of peace and unity, then if you get the office, you can also promote unity. So it is important that you understand why you are seeking the office, not to destroy your country, not to destroy what you want, but to ensure that the country grows peacefully so you will govern well.
All right.
The Bible says every people will live what they sow. So if you are sowing division, thinking you are smart, okay, win, and you suffer division.
All right, thank you, Reverend.
And promote peace. If you win, you will also enjoy peace.
All right, thank you. There goes Reverend Joseph John HAYAB, the country director of Global Peace Foundation Nigeria, has been our resource person on Perspectives today. We say thank you, Reverend, for making our time to be with us this morning.
Thank you for having me, and may God make this election era a peaceful time. May we just simply canvass support for our candidates, and once it is time, go and choose the person we want, and don't destroy anybody because of your candidate.
All right, thank you. We hope you oblige us when next we want you here.
I will surely. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And I'm afraid it's about the size of it for today. My producer has been Toyin Alabi. The studio man is Jeffrey Ngbediadiko. My name is DIDAM the voice LAAH. Nigeria is ours to make, but if you want to might, the ball is in our court. I'll be back again. Bye for now.